Hello, welcome to Campervan Parts UK. Today we're going to look at replacing a rear panel on an elevating roof. As you can see here, we do have a bit of an issue with the back of this canvas. The most common reason for the rear panel actually rotting is the fact that the elevating roof rubber often doesn't meet, so we'll address that at the end of this video. But to start with, let's look at replacing the panel. You've obviously got a rip all the way through here. I don't know whether you can see on this video. There's also a rip all the way through above. So this panel really does need quite a lot of attention, but I will also turn around and say, even with what you see here, this isn't anything like as bad as some of the elevating roof canvases we've managed to repair. The first thing that we need to do when we start working on the canvas is have the canvas as taut as possible. We have got a clamp underneath the offside at the moment. I'm just about to put this clamp underneath the near side, and it's a case of trying to obviously get the roof as taut as possible, like this, so that we've got a nice flat canvas to work to. The next thing we want to do is we want to be measuring the width at the top, the width at the bottom, and the height. We're going to want slightly higher than the height here, and let's move to the bench and I'll show you the cutting of the canvas and the preparation for the rear panel before we start gluing it up. So the canvas that comes in the kit, it's 150 centimetres wide and it's 40 centimetres high. You measure the elevating roof canvas at the top width, which I've already done working from the centre. I've obviously marked those points. It's 30 centimetres high. So I've got a mark here, which is 10 centimetres up, to then measure the width at the bottom. The extra, obviously, is going to either be cut off and siliconed in, or as you'll see us do, we'll actually undo the bottom of the canvas and actually tuck it in underneath before it's siliconed in. So what you see here is the mark, which is the panel size that we're wanting. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut it about 1 centimetre wider than I need it. And the reasons why I'm going to cut it 1 centimetre wider is so that I've got something to turn over and basically make a hem, so you get a nice neat edge to both of the sides of the canvas. Okay, let's get gluing. So what we have here is the web tack glue. This is a really high temperature glue. It's a very, very good and very strong glue. So on the can, it has low, medium and high actually on the top. I'm going to put this on medium. I don't want low, but I do need enough to obviously cover the top edge. So now I've covered the top edge. It doesn't actually take very long to dry. It only literally takes probably, a few seconds. That needs a little bit longer. I might as well show you it in real time. Yep. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fold along this centimetre hem and literally just stick it over. So this is now giving us the true width that we want to be working with when we put it onto the canvas. There we go. So we're going to do this on both sides, then we're going to glue the whole of this panel before we glue the elevating roof canvas prior to putting this panel on. Okay, so now we're going to come to spraying the canvas. As you can see, we've cut as much of the silicone out of the bottom of the roof canvas as we possibly can, and we've masking taped it up all the way around the whole of the canvas panel. I've got a friend on the inside at the moment with this board, and that is so that when I'm spraying it, obviously we're not going to spray glue inside the elevating roof and spray the roof bed. This is going to be a little bit more tricky than a lot of rear panels because of the fact that here we have a solar cable, which isn't going to make our lives at all easy, but we are just going to have to work around this. So I'm now going to put this on high, and I'm just going to work my way all the way around the canvas with glue. as you can see, I've done this in real time. It actually doesn't take very long. It's not going to take more than a minute or two for the contact adhesive to dry, and then I'll just remove the masking tape and get the rear canvas panel ready to stick on. Okay, as you see, I've got this positioned somewhere close. As I said, it's a little bit of a fiddle because of the fact that we've obviously got this solar cable that we're having to work around at the back. I'm trying to flatten the panel out. We've got a piece of board on the inside, which I'm working to, and I'm just trying to get the canvas stuck down against the panel behind as flat as possible. So there we go. So that's not far off, obviously, being done now. The canvas panel, if wanted, could be cut off flush with the bottom and then silicone back in. What we're going to do is we're actually going to try and make as best a job as we possibly can with this by releasing all the screws at the back, tucking the canvas underneath and screwing it back down, which we're now going to do. Okay, as you can see here, we have actually undone the rear plastic. We've tucked the canvas underneath, and we're now going to pull the canvas, make it nice and taut, and screw it back down again. So, having got the canvas to this point, the last thing to do is to polyurethane glue the edges to give a really nice permanent glue finish down the seams and silicone up the bottom, and then we're done. So I have put some masking tape down the edge here just to make sure that I don't overspill too much. And over the years, we have tried a few different techniques to hold it as the glue goes off. The glue takes about a couple of hours to cure, and we have used clothes pegs, we have used bulldog clips, but as you see in a moment, what we've actually found more recently, which works the best, is actually using magnets. So we put a magnet on each side, one on the inside, one on the outside, just to hold it whilst the glue cures, just to make sure that you've got a really good bond. So just making sure I've got plenty of glue all the way down this edge. There we go. Now I'm going to go in with the magnets to hold it. So again, I've got my helper on the inside. If we can start at the bottom, there we go, and we'll just work our way up. Okay, we're almost there. One more at the top. And we're done. I'm going to take the masking tape off. That's going to hold that polyurethane glue tight to the canvas whilst it cures. And the only thing left now is to put a silicone bead back along the bottom . So I'll obviously carry that on all the way along the bottom, and it's just a case of just tidying it up and getting rid of any excess. But this whole canvas, including the time it's taken to do the video, has taken us just under an hour. So it really isn't a difficult job to give you a really good, neat, permanent repair to the back. The only thing I'm going to say is that the gap in the back of the rubber here is going to cause a problem. So if you can remove the rubber and just give it a little bit of a pull, quite often you can stretch enough out of the rubber to close up the gap at the back. Replacing the rubber can be done, but if you could just close it up, it's also possible to glue it in place just to make sure it doesn't creep back over time. So that's also something that we will always try and do at the point of doing the rear panel, trying to make sure that obviously the rear panel is going to last as long as it can without further water ingression and further damage.